Hey there, Open Forcers, and welcome back to this episode of the Gig Academy, where we talk about all things independent contracting and independent contractor related. Today we have Jimmy Eberhard from Fluid Trucking joining us. Jimmy, how are you doing? And why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hey, Nick, great. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm Jimmy Eberhard. I'm the founder and CEO of Fluid Truck. And Fluid Truck is a technology-based rental platform that enables small and mid-sized businesses the ability to go out there and access to hundreds of vehicles in 40 markets all across the country, or I should say thousands of vehicles. In each market, we'll have hundreds of vehicles in each location. And really, we provide a fast, easy platform to get in and out of the right vehicle for the right job. So any market will have hundreds of class 2 through class 6 trucks that you can use our app to basically access, book, and be in the vehicles and on the road in less than 2 minutes.
Wow, that's amazing, especially in today's setting with the supply chain. That has to be a huge benefit to a lot of companies. So where did this idea come from, and kind of how does the app work?
Yeah. So, it all comes back from a place where, in our very early days, you could rent a lot of different things off of it. And we really just started noticing there's a huge problem out there renting vehicles. Off our platform, you can rent 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and your vehicle breaks down and you need a replacement one, if you go to Penske or any of the traditional rental companies out there, you're gonna wait till they open up in the morning. You're gonna wait in line. And off our platform, you're gonna go into our app, our Fluid Truck app, and from there, you're gonna book the vehicle. You'll go through a short inspection photo. You'll unlock it. Keys will be inside, and then you're out on the road.
Wow, that's amazing. So is this app, for our listeners, is this something they can just find on the Apple App Store or on Android?
Yeah, absolutely. So go with App Store or Android and search Fluid Truck and download the app, and then away you go.
That's amazing. So it sounds like it's a pretty quick onboarding process to being approved. So what's the average kind of enrollment time to being able to get the app and then find what kind of vehicle they need?
So, you'll set an account. Usually takes a couple minutes to set the account. You'll need your driver's license, and you'll upload your driver's license as well to initiate your account. And then after your account's created, which usually it's a couple minutes from the time you create your account till it's approved. And then from there, you can see all the vehicles that are around you, and you select what you need. You can sort through whether you're looking for cargo vans, you're looking for mid-size box trucks or larger box trucks. And go look and see what the availability is, and the pricing's all straightforward. A couple clicks, and then you're book the vehicle and on the road.
That's awesome. That is so awesome, especially like I was saying earlier today in the market where used trucks like cargo vans, et cetera, are 3 to 5 times more expensive than they were this time last year because of the chip shortage and everything. Your app is so timely and so useful that this is awesome. So in light of kind of like the state of the industry, what and who are exactly using Fluid Truck? Do you have like predominantly business to business clients, individual users, a mix of both? What's your target demographic?
Our normal demographic is either an independent contractor or a small business that's effectively augmenting their fleet or using us as a primary source. And we businesses that 5 years ago they used to own a small fleet of trucks, that today they don't own a single vehicle and they use our app exclusively for all their vehicle needs. And the great thing about it is that we give you the ability to quickly jump in and jump out of vehicles. So let's just say 1 week you get extra jobs coming through and you need more capacity. You can hop on the app, book extra capacity and go from a few trucks, even to 50 or 100 trucks to get the job done.
That's awesome. So one thing when I was looking over the website, is there kind of like 2 options here where someone can be looking for a truck and then someone has a truck that they can market to be used?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a marketplace. We've got a lot of capacity on there, but also if you have vehicles that you're looking to monetize, you can put them up in our app. We'll ship you out some telematics that you plug into the vehicle, and then you can make your vehicles accessible. So if there's slow periods of time where you have extra capacity in your fleet, or you're not using the truck that you have, you can put it out there, run it out. We cover the insurance and take care of it.
That's so cool. That is so cool. And I bet you're seeing I mean, and one thing too, looking over your website and reading up on you guys are growing like crazy.
Yeah.
Is that to do with kind of pre-COVID and pre-supply chain, already systemic things that were there that really obviously needed you guys, or are you guys seeing an existential or sorry, not existential, but exponential, there we go, growth multiplier due to supply chain issues as well?
I think I mean, as we kind of look at like the world's evolving, like, I mean, thinking about the 5 years ago or 10 years ago, booking a cab on your phone and then hopping in a stranger's car to having, I mean, that concept almost sounds like, it's scary. But I mean, today, Uber has transformed how we kind of look about how you get from point A to point B as a passenger. As we kind of look at like Airbnb, I mean, it's shifted and made, people that have their homes, you can take it, push out and drive spare capacity. And we kind of we've done the same thing for commercial vehicles, and being able to, go out there and really get the right truck for the job, and really go into a place where, we see in the future where you don't need to own fleets of vehicles to get the job done. You can run and make it simple and easy. And we've really taken the pain points out of the industry. I mean, the thing that we found was one of the most taxing things when you needed to rent a vehicle was having to go at 9 o'clock in the morning, or before 5 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday, to rent a vehicle and waiting in line, having to deal with all the paperwork. We've just completely eliminated that. You can see in real time what's available, where it's at, book it, and then you show up to the vehicle and you're out on the road in a couple minutes.
Wow, that's awesome. Is there even instead of like having to go and pick up the vehicle, is there like a delivery option too, where the vehicle is delivered to the driver?
I mean, for the most part, I mean, we have our vehicles kind of stage across cities, but
Okay.
we do help out and work with doing deliveries of the vehicles themselves. But for the most part, in most cases, we look at the individual picking up the vehicle from that set location.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So in terms of independent contracting and independent contract drivers and their small businesses, how is Fluid Truck kind of supporting the gig economy?
I think it's something where people don't naturally. I mean, a lot of the independent contractors are already out there driving routes. They probably have access to a vehicle, or they may own their own vehicle. But in the cases where you have a vehicle that goes down, or you throw a rod in the engine, or it doesn't pass the safety inspection, you're like, oh, I've got to make sure I hit my delivery here this day. If you're renting a vehicle from anywhere else, you're going to be spending a couple hours out there trying to grab that vehicle. Where in our case, we have people that, like, their vehicles, blows a tire or has, issues on it. They can hop on the app, book the vehicle, and not miss a beat. I think that's really where, giving that support of having that flexible access to, a plethora of other vehicles, really has, been great. The additional side to it is, having to, manage, maintain, go out there and the cost of buying, acquiring, commercial vehicles, we take that away. I mean, the ability to come on our app and, you're paying either by, the hour, the day, the week, the month to rent a vehicle. We take the cost and the CapEx that you have to spend, or, going out and purchasing a brand new one, it can be costly. And so we make it, easy and accessible to grab and hop into the right vehicle for the job.
Definitely. And, there's kind of a stigma in the transportation industry that, whether it's true or not, that it's kind of lagging behind, in terms of technology. And what you guys are doing really is, influencing the way this industry is going to go. Where do you see, with your app and what you're doing, where do you see that taking, the transportation and logistics industry?
I mean, as an IC, if looking at the position that they're in, I can't imagine like how hard it is if you have a vehicle that goes down, or you get an extra route. I mean, having to go spend the time either to go out and have the cash to go out and buy a new vehicle to do it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because not sure if you're going to continue to need it on an ongoing basis, or just the time that it takes to go rent from a traditional truck rental company. I mean, it just I almost makes it it precludes a lot of people from being able to get the job done. And we really look at this as that we're partners, and we're letting people and helping people grow and build businesses on the back of our platform. That's really the way we kind of look at ourselves, is we're a technology platform that really is a partner, and making it easier in driving accessibility and really just reducing the time and the headache to get access to the right vehicle is really what we're out there to do.
Definitely. I 100% agree with everything you just said, because there are so many barriers to entry for independent contracting, truck drivers or courier drivers and everything. And like you said, vehicles are more expensive due to the chip shortage. 3 to 5 times the last time I checked, for a used vehicle alone. They're not making new trucks right now, or it's very, very much curbed because of the chip shortage. And then you throw in, all the insurance regulation that has to be in place, and then you have to throw in the legislation that's making it with the ABC test, and bills like AB5 and the PRO Act federally that create those barriers to entry. What you guys are doing is huge, because the biggest thing is that is a barrier to entry. Say for like in California, they are talking about, teach at some high schools, teaching like 18-year-olds how to be truck drivers. Well, how's an 18-year-old going to come up with that kind of cash, right? To go actually do the work that they've learned how to do. Well, that's where you guys come in and make it actually possible for them to make a living. And one thing you mentioned too, that I'm really interested in learning more, maybe I misheard, but you mentioned there was an insurance component with the app, and with getting drivers in touch with the correct vehicle. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I mean, we provide a base level coverage for all the vehicles that are on the platform. And so, I mean, there's the option to go take our coverage on the vehicle. So when you're out there driving it. Now, if you're running commercial routes, you'll still need your own policy for it. But as far as like the protection on the vehicle and those things, I mean, you can take our policy to offload that component. And for people that are bringing their vehicles to our platform, I mean, we have an underwriting policy across everything to take care of it while it's out on the network.
That's awesome. That's another huge thing that's such a benefit to the drivers. So
yeah. Well, no, I think as we started really talking to drivers and ICs that are out there doing it. I mean, having the cost of the vehicle, and then also being able to get the credit and be able to go out there and get the financing on the vehicles, if you can find them, to your point, is a challenge. I mean, being able to eliminate that component and just have an easy access point to go out there and quickly be able to get the job done is really what we look at. And at the end of the day, we want to be partners and really drive value in the equation. And we do a lot just to support, the safety components, the maintenance, and just eliminating all those headaches so you can focus on getting the job done.
That's awesome. Well, and one other area that I think is really interesting too, that you guys are doing some really interesting stuff that I know our audience definitely will want to hear more about, with gas prices rising, sure, it being more difficult to get vehicles in general. You guys are doing a lot of interesting things with electric vehicles. You want to tell the audience more about that?
I mean, it's we currently have the largest medium duty rental electric fleet. So 100% EV box trucks, cargo vans out there in the marketplace today. And so, it's currently operating in New York and in Southern California. But we're bringing the first EVs to the market, and the EV side does a lot of things. I mean, it helps drive down maintenance, but it also removes ever having to stop at a gas station ever again. I mean, you're picking the vehicle up, it's full of charge, you're driving it on the route, and you're bringing it back to the location to plug it back in. And so, not having to pay the gas bill, not having to worry about stopping at the gas station, and really just kind of simplifying the overall experience is really where it's going. Now, EVs are brand new on the commercial side. I mean, we've seen Teslas out there and the Bolts of the world out on the road, and we're just seeing these first time, class 6, class 4 EV vehicles, and it's pretty amazing to see where it's going. Yeah. But it's still, at the very early stages, but we're out there, experimenting out there, seeing how can we provide a zero emission experience, because there's a lot of brands and retailers out there that are starting to insist that they have a sustainable zero emission vehicle out there conducting the delivery.
Definitely. That's awesome, man. I mean, I think that we, always need to be looking for, alternatives to making the model work, and then just overall for a better quality of life for, us as a people, working in harmony with the planet rather than trying to subdue it necessarily. Um, Side weird note about me, I'm really interested in regenerative farming. So it's pretty cool to hear what you're doing with electric vehicles. So it's very, very cool.
No, thanks. I mean, it is pretty cool. I mean, it was early days, but I mean, on there, but we are seeing, these vehicles are starting to make their way into the market, and still has a ways to go. But I think it's, as we kind of look at the first generation, look at the way that the world's going, I mean, it's definitely something that, I would encourage people to hop on our platform, check out the EVs, and start learning more about, because the world is moving in that direction, going in, testing it, understanding it. It still has a number of years to go before we start seeing become more and more mainstream. But being ahead of the curve always is a lot better than having it sneak up on you.
Definitely, that's for sure. That's for sure. And as like things change, predominantly, we're trying to reach, our independent contractors and our clients as well. So with everything you're seeing, what would be, as a successful entrepreneur, some advice or a biggest takeaway for the independent contractors that are listening today to this podcast? What would you say, is the number one thing they can be doing to help grow their business and, utilize the most out of the Fluid Truck app?
Well, I think on here is that, like any entrepreneur, it's kind of knowing where you want to go before you go there, and start looking at what are your plans? How do you want to see your business grow? Where do you want to be? And say, I want to be doing this in a year, 2 years, 5 years. Then you start working backwards and start setting goals and say, okay, I want to start with this one route, and I want to start acquiring more routes, bring more people in. And I think, with our platform, we really give ICs the ability to start saying, okay, I'm going to go out there, start building routes, building drivers underneath me, and be able to build up a team and helping drive scale on there. And through our platform, we really give ICs the ability to create that infrastructure, because now you have an easy access point through the Fluid Truck app to go out there, rent vehicles, and start building your business. And so, I mean, we really are a platform or a tool that you can build upon. And so, we've got companies that, start off with one person, and over the course of, months, even less than a year, you start seeing people build businesses where, we see them using one truck themselves. And next thing you know, they're using 5, 10, 15 trucks, and going out there and being able to scale their business without having to take the risk of, and the capital exposure of having to go write some big checks, having to get debt financing for insane amounts of money, and the ability to do it with very low risk on using our platform. So if a route gets canceled or you lose a contract on it, and you have a big debt exposure on a truck, you're like, what am I going to do? On our side, you say, okay, great, I'm just going to return the truck back, and we put it back in the pool, and someone else comes back and uses it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Jimmy, we're winding down to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any closing thoughts for our audience? And also, if they want to learn more, where can they go?
No, I mean, we're excited about the partnership with Open Forest. We definitely, see Open Forest and like the 240,000 ICs that are out there partnered in there. It's a great place, and we want to be out supporting. And I'm excited to be working with you guys because our goals of empowering the ICs and the people that are making the goods, making sure that the goods get to the stores, to people's doors. I mean, it's amazing to watch the transformation in the economy. And even before COVID hit,
yep.
we were watching the whole last mile delivery segment start moving at high teens, and then through COVID, you watch this insane acceleration, and that's not going away. And so I think there's tons of opportunity out there to be building businesses in this space, and definitely you can see the value of what we're all helping contribute is really helping people drive efficiencies, drive time, and with the huge demand out there, there's a lot of opportunities to build real businesses in this space. So we love being partners with, like Open Forest, helping provide that platform for people to go out there and build businesses and go out there and achieve success.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, where can the audience go to find the app, or what would they need to search in terms of
So you can go to fluidtruck.com, or you can go on the App Store and just search Fluid Truck and download our app, or go to the website. So, and we're there ready to help you out.
That's awesome. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here.
Awesome, Nick. Now, I appreciate having me on and look forward to working with you guys a lot here in the future.
Likewise, likewise. And Open Foresters, thanks for joining us for this edition of the Gig Academy. Be sure to check out the show notes to learn more about Fluid Trucking and how you can get connected with them. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next podcast.